Hey guys, welcome back, and it is time to give my official review of WWE 2K18. Normally I save the final score for the end of the video, but for purposes of this one, I'm going to give it to you up front. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this a 3. Now I'm going to spend the rest of the video explaining why. What we're looking at right here is the creation suite. I'm working on the missing link, and one of the new things is it gives you these different lighting options so you can see exactly how your created wrestler should look once you get them into the main arenas. This does not work at all accurately, as you'll see. He looks perfectly fine. I'm actually really happy with the way this thing turned out. Until we get in the game. Apparently, the lights are so hot inside the arena that it has melted the face paint right off. And by face paint, I mean the face paint that they provide you with. This was not some sort of a downloaded JPEG or GIF or anything like that. This was the standard white face paint that I just made green, and it's gone. Disappeared completely from the model. I started messing with a few things at this point, thinking, okay, maybe it's the Sanity entrance and that lighting, for whatever reason, is not playing well, because as I go back here, I can see everything's still intact. Everything's the way it's supposed to look. It's there for the screenshot. The thumbnail's all good. So I decided to do it all over from scratch with the paint. Completely wiped it dry, put it back up in order, made sure it was good, saved it, and decided to try it again. Now I think you can probably tell at this point where this is going to end up. But again, I'm using their tools to see what it should look like under match lighting conditions. And everything is intact. Now I'll tell you right now, I went on after this to try about 4 or 5 different things, including different entrances, just to make sure it wasn't the Sanity situation. They all had the same effect. At one point, I took their face paint off, and I just added the different shapes and made them green, which didn't look quite as good, but I thought at least that would take care of the problem. And guess what? It still didn't. The only difference was, at one point in time, I finally got it to once the match started, then the eye makeup would be in place. But during the entrance, it was still missing. Then I thought maybe it was the decals. Maybe it was the images, but apparently they seem to be working fine on the other characters. So I'm just going to go with 2K sucks. Alright, let's move on to one of the big things they were touting. This is the first time ever we will have an 8-man tag match. We've all been waiting for this, and I decided to put today's big group up against yesteryear's big group. Where's Sawyer Fulton? Oh, that's kind of sad, because you know Sanity has a 4-man entrance animation, and they left poor Sawyer to make that lonely walk alone. Alright, well, the Freebirds, even though they come with 3, everyone knows that Terry Gordy's going to be added in the game by creators, and they must have a 4-man animation. No? Wow. Alright, well, you know what? It's not about the entrances. It's not about that. I mean, it would be a nice thing if you actually were accurate, but it's okay. As long as the game plays well, we finally have a 4-on-4 match. What the hell's going on here? Slow motion. Oh yeah, the game lags like a motherfucker when you go 8-man match. 8-man tag match is, I haven't even tried the Battle Royal, by the way. I can only imagine it'll be just as much fun. It lags from bell to bell when you go to an 8-man. And keep in mind, there's only one created wrestler on that match. Everything else is scanned in. And it is lagging horribly. Makes it basically unplayable. This is the thing that they put their big advertising into, and hey, we got 8-man tag for the first time ever. Are you going to try and tell me you didn't test it? No, of course you tested it, and you knew it didn't work. And you had to get it out for release date. And let me tell you something, folks. I don't think this is a patchable fix. This is just something that the game can't handle. Kind of like 2K in making a wrestling game. It's just something they can't handle. So one of the things they have brought back this year after a lengthy absence is the create a match mode. It's got its positives and its negatives. The good news is you can get things like 2 out of 3 falls, you can set time limits, different disqualification factors. The bad news is You can't do an elimination tag match for 6 or 8 players. That kind of bites. Also, outside of Universe mode, you still have no ability to control who runs in. In other words, you don't get to set feuds unless you're in Universe. So if you're playing outside of Universe, you can have all kinds of weird run-ins and it doesn't make sense and it doesn't feel right. There's also no squash match, really, the way that was promised to us. You can set up a match, and yes, you can set the health levels real low on one person. The problem is when you go to put that match in and then go to play it, whichever character you choose to play is going to have the low levels set to him. So unless you want to be squashed, that's the only way you're going to play a squash match. That might get patched, I hope. But I can tell you right now that lagging 8-man, that's not a fix. That's just the way that's going to be. Also, I see the feuds bleed over from one promotion to the next, but that's a whole other animal. Let's talk about a couple of positive things here anyway. Look at the way he uses the ropes there, the old snap slingshot off the ropes. We haven't seen that before in a game, but it looks really good. Also, the way he uses the ropes right here to climb back up after taking a beating, that's authentic. It makes it feel right. Now, there haven't been many highlights for me, but this was one of them. TJP going for the count, and all of a sudden music starts playing, and he's like, what the hell's going on? Who is this? And everyone's waiting to see who's going to come out that curtain. Only thing is, they don't come out the curtain. In true wrestling fashion, it is R-Truth from behind, lays him out, bails out, referee sees nothing, and that leads to a big opportunity for the opposition, and there is some good drama. This was fun. Not a lot of fun in this game in 50 hours, I'm here to tell you. Guys, my best advice, don't buy it if you haven't already. It simply isn't worth it. Wait till the patches come out and see if it fixes half of these problems. Just like the 3 count here, that's what I give this game. 3.